I am very happy to have tonight's guest in studio with me. He's, of course, a very funny comedian and longtime advocate for racial justice. Please welcome the host of CNN's Emmy award-winning series, United Shades of America, W, Kamau Bell. Thank you for being here in person.
Yeah, I came out for you. I have not left my house very much except to make the show, but I came out for you.
That I really do appreciate that. You're very kind. You shaved.
I shaved, yeah. I did. It's like a date. I did the whole thing.
Yeah.
I showered. I washed my hair.
You put on your best purple Oakland.
I put on my best Oaklandish shirt. Yes,
yeah. I mean, man, you all went all out, and I appreciate it. No, you were very nice to come on my program during the height of COVID and all kinds of craziness. You came on, and we had a great conversation, which I really appreciated.
Yeah.
And that was, of course, on Zoom. Yes. And then I got to talk to you on the podcast, but again, not in person. So this is nice. We're here.
We're here. Yeah, no, last time when we first did that thing on the show in Zoom, let's see, there's a global pandemic, racial unrest, and now everything's okay again. Man, the old days.
Never another racial problem in this country.
No, all solved, all solved. You're welcome, America. Our conversation did it.
Yeah, now, first of all, I want to ask you about your health. I'm told you had eye surgery recently.
Yeah, I like to do all the things. I like to have a global pandemic and also mix in some eye surgery. So yes, I had eye surgery. I've had bad eyes, but I think for the first time I have this thing called good insurance.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's a guy. Look into it, everybody.
So you've been waiting until you had good insurance to get eye surgery.
Yeah, so even the global pandemic could not stop me from taking care of my eye surgery. So yeah.
And did it all go fine? Did it go well?
I mean, right now I'm like an NBA player you see on the sidelines with like the ice. Like I'm gonna play the game, but I'm a little banged up. But
so you can't even see me right now.
No, I can. But your voice is so specific. it's clearly you. It's clearly you.
It's clearly me or some. I'm a blurry white lady to you right now.
There's a lot of white men here, but I'm like, no, that's Conan right there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I tend to stick out. Yeah.
Your woke whiteness is coming along nicely. we're all very proud of you in the Bay.
I'm trying.
Yeah, you are, which we appreciate.
I am known as the whitest man in America. So I felt like this responsibility.
Yeah, that's why me and my friend Kate Schatz, she pulled you along. We're like, if we can get him, we can get everybody.
Yeah. And then you realize, no, most white people don't like me.
We didn't really do that good. Yeah.
You should have looked into that first.
I didn't know the show was going away.
I
thought he's going to be on TV forever.
You wasted.
Yeah.
You reformed the wrong guy. It was a huge. I have to ask you about something, which is you do a terrific show. You do a fantastic show. And then I find out that you're up against Steve Harvey for 2 NAACP Image Awards. And I was thinking to myself, you guys are doing such different things.
Really?
Yes, you really are. Unless you're starting to give away a lot of cash on United Shades. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, you're out there and you're doing these very, probing and thoughtful looks at what's going on in America and racism. And then, of course, Steve Harvey, God bless him, has Family Feud.
Yeah, which is, I mean, believe me, I wish I had that job. Yeah.
That's the job you really want.
That is I'm aiming for that job. I probably shouldn't have gone through meeting with the Klan to get there, but that's the, yeah. I think it is funny that the guy who's famous for meeting with the Klan and the guy who's famous for the big suits and celebrity family feud were in the same category.
Well, have you ever thought of, if you really do like that, you could borrow a little from him? Like you did that famous episode where, you went and you hung out with the Klan. So maybe you do like a game show where you're with the Klan. You're trying to integrate them a little, and maybe that will change them.
Well, the show is basically America's Greatest Racism. Every week we talk about the greatest moments in America's racism, but we don't give away money. We should start giving away money.
You know what? You give away cars, cash prizes.
Yeah.
It's a whole other thing.
Right before when I was nominated for those 2 categories, I sent out a tweet that said, I'm up against Steve Harvey. I look forward to losing to him. And then I did lose to him.
Yeah.
So, I predicted it.
Well, I think the other thing, too, is that the quickest way to get people woke and maybe to get people aware or racially sensitive is to say, hey, at the other end of this, if you listen to me for 10 minutes, there's a possibility you win a Prius.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
We should do that. That's how we should do that with the vaccine. If you get this vaccine, you will also get a Prius.
I can't believe, because your show involves a lot of travel. You're traveling constantly for your show.
Yes.
And there's no way around that. And then you did it during COVID. And I don't know, first of all, you survived it. Congratulations. But what was it like at the height of COVID to be flying to cover your assignments.
Well, and let's be clear, as a black guy who's in my 40s, who has asthma and maybe some high blood pressure, COVID was looking for me.
Right.
COVID, I would leave places, they'd be like, COVID was just here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got many times COVID called me.
Yeah,
It was like, I know you hang with Kamau, and I'm like, I can't tell you where he is.
can't
Like,
tell
'cause
you.
he is on the top of our list right now.
No, yeah, I was out there. I felt like I was dodging COVID like Neo in the Matrix. So we went out there, masked up, shot everything outside, and like everybody was tested. I got tested every day, and and it's like rapid tests. So there's like a half hour. I'd be like, is today the day? And so
What about airport? Like, describe. I have not been. Last week, I had to go up north to Seattle quickly. There was something going on with my wife's family, and so I had to rush up there. And I realized it was the first time I'd been on this airplane in such a long time and in an airport, and things felt like they're easing back to normal.
Yeah.
But you were in airports. What were they like at the height of the pandemic?
I was out there. It was like I Am Legend. Like I was the one guy in the airport.
With a dog, I hope.
Yeah, I took a dog. I took a dog. Yeah, like there was, and you're like, the whole time you're like, is this really a good idea?
Yeah.
All the stores are sort of open, but nobody's in them. Just like, take what you want, leave some money. It's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Restaurants, make what you need. We're not going to be here. Yeah, I was out there, getting on airplanes, sitting in your seat, and air travel's not the best anyway, but air travel during the pandemic, they're just sort of like this, they're just sort of tossing a bottle of water towards you. There's all the luxury was gone.
Yeah. But you got through it.
Yeah, I think
You got through it, and you were able to do the work.
Yeah, we did do the work. We made 7 episodes for this season. They cut one, but we did what we could do.
And what about, I know that you're a hugger.
I am formerly. I'm glad to
That's
be
what
on
I'm
TV.
going to say. Formerly a hugger.
Yeah, I have a very tight hug circle now. It's very exclusive.
I noticed you didn't hug me when I saw you.
I said I have a very tight hug circle now. It's very exclusive. Plus, I didn't want to hug with my eye. I didn't want to hug the wrong white guy. That's a whole thing. Like, Andy? Oh no.
Andy, did you get a hug from Kamau when you saw him?
No. It's a very. Yeah.
You know what? I respect that. You're discerning.
I used to be like everybody can get a hug, but now I am not doing that. It's all the elbow bump.
I do the elbow thing now.
Yeah.
And for years, I used to do this on TV, and I found, what do you do, Andy? I do this now sometimes to people, and it's just my way of saying I respect you, I acknowledge you.
Yes.
I'm a Buddhist.
I don't want to touch you.
I do the run away.
You just run away from
When I
people?
encounter people, I just run the other way.
Yeah. You did that before, long before COVID.
I'm scared. I was raised by wolves.
Now, you got your vaccine.
Yeah, I got the J&J. I got that J&J, that one shot.
I love that everybody talks about which one they got.
Yeah.
Did you ever think we'd be talking about this? Because I'll be someplace and someone will say, yeah, I got Moderna, and I'll say, like, I got Moderna.
Yeah, no.
And then suddenly it's like, you're an Aries, I'm an Aries.
Exactly.
Who cares which one you got?
Yeah, no, but if you get the J&J, you're really keeping it real. All you people who need 2 shots, we're the ones who are really keeping it real. I got 1 shot and I went home. Yeah.
Did you have any side effects from it?
Oh yes, I had all the side effects.
Yeah,
I had all the. I definitely got real medicine. Some people were saying it was fake. No, I got real medicine.
Yeah. Well, this is so important because I've been open about the fact that I'm now 2 weeks out officially from my 2nd shot. I got Moderna, and I got some side effects. I got some side effects from it, but my point was, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
And they're not that bad, and you get through them, and that's like a message you want to get out there, which is it's actually probably a sign that the vaccine is doing what it's supposed to do.
It is, and I think, right now, if you read the news, there's lots of other variants happening, and so we all need to get vaccinated, or else we're just leaving ourselves open to another, version of COVID that will come across the way. So we gotta get vaccinated.
Now, it's especially important, there is a well-earned suspicion of vaccines in the black community.
Well, let's see. There's a well-earned suspicion of a couple areas. There's a well-earned suspicion of the United States government. There's a well-earned suspicion of the medical industry. There's a well-earned suspicion of, let's just say everything. Let's just say, of America. Can we just put it all under America?
Right.
So I understand that, and black people, that we are a little bit skeptical, which is why it was important for me. I did a thing with a bunch of black doctors and healthcare workers, for black doctors and healthcare workers talking to black people about the vaccine in ways that black people understand. If I played it for you, you wouldn't understand it. But Yeah.
I didn't even, and the whole thing you just said meant nothing to me.
Yeah, and I
I
think
just
we
heard a
have
lot of like a high-pitched squeal.
It's just like,
Now that I understand. That I understand.
Yes, yes.
But I do think, and it's other communities as well. I know people. I work with people whose parents immigrated to this country from other places who are suspicious of the vaccine, and it's culturally. I mean, we're up against a lot of cultural stuff as well.
And we're also up against a lot, I don't know if you remember the last 4 years of America, we're up against a lot of misinformation and lies. So, I mean, if you look at the research, if you want to get a vaccine, you can't get one in your community, go to Trump country because they don't trust the vaccine either. So I think that we have to understand that, like, there's a lot, we are awash in misinformation and lies right now. So a lot of people don't trust the vaccine because they're taking in the wrong information.
Well, what's fascinating to me is anybody who's had a brush with the disease, actually had COVID or known someone who had COVID, they get religion really quickly.
Yeah, which we shouldn't have to do that.
No, it's too bad.
Yeah.
It's in the news that Yankees, the Mets are offering free tickets to anybody who gets a COVID vaccine. And this a little bit goes back to what we were talking about with the Family Feud is, if we want to solve America's problems, maybe we should offer people, a new car.
Yeah.
But incentives feel like they might be a good idea in this situation. It's weird to say, want to save your life? We'll give you something for free.
Yeah.
But that feels like where we are right now.
Well, yeah, and I think, there's a lot of us who are like, I would just like to save my life. Tell me what to do. I will wear a seatbelt. But for other people, you have to incentivize, especially with COVID, because it's not just about your life. It's about the lives of the people around you in the community, in the country, in the world. So you have to incentivize it. I think they should just, wasn't it Krispy Kreme giving out donuts?
Yeah.
I think they should just sneak up behind people, jab a vaccine into them, and they go, hey, donut. Because you'd immediately forget.
That's right. Ow, how dare you?
Just like, yes.
Donut.
I think we should just look at it that way. Like we have to, because we have to get vaccinated, or else we're how do I put this? We're doomed.
Yeah. Well, what a lovely,
Yeah.
what a lovely sentiment.
This is why I'm the comedian who works at CNN.
I gotta say, I saw you live many times. You would always end on "We're doomed."
Yeah, that was.
It always bummed the crowd out.
I was trying to make it a catchphrase, but that didn't seem to work. We're doomed. No matter how you say
He's
it.
about to be off. He's gonna do "We're doomed" right now. Here we go.
It's my closer.
I talked to you as we mentioned before, months ago, right after George Floyd's death, and
Well, let's be clear. We can say murder now.
murder, yeah.
Because of the trial.
But I talked to you right at the height of that, and so it feels like I'm curious to follow up now that the trial is over, and Derek Chauvin's been found guilty 3 times of all of the charges. Where are you? What's your reaction to that verdict and the reaction to that verdict?
I mean, I think, so first of all, I'm happy for George Floyd's family that they got a measure of justice in the civic trial and the criminal trial. So good for them for feeling like they were heard. But, if any police in the country should have been aware of how they interact with black men specifically, it should be police in that area. But Daunte Wright was killed right then, after George Floyd, right after Chauvin was found guilty. So I think a lot of people have been in the position because of the work I do and because of the first episode of United Change, which was about policing, of people asking me to be hopeful or wanting me to say we can be hopeful because of that verdict. But, I'm old enough to remember Rodney King. Like we thought oh, they got it on film. That's going to change everything. I'm old enough to remember that weird thing we thought O.J. being found not guilty was good. That weird period of America. So I think that until we recognize that it's the system of policing that we have to look at and not individual acts, that we're still going to see these things repeat themselves.
It's interesting because there's the movement Defund the Police, which is...
First of all, good for you for saying it out loud. A lot of people are afraid to say it out loud. So.
To say defund the police out loud?
Yeah.
My issue with defund the police is when you look into it, you see that there's an incredible amount of nuanced, terrific ideas to how we can approach and rethink policing. Defund the police can lead people in the wrong direction, which is people think, what do you mean? So no police, which is not the concept.
No.
And I think that's something. It's almost educating people what that means. And,
Well,
and maybe there needs to be another name for it other than defund the police, or I don't know.
I mean, I think of this in the big picture way. You have to realize that, from the first moment that Africans set foot on this country and got off those boats and were told, wait, what do you want us to do? Wait, for free?
Right.
No, I'd like to go back. And then you would realize there was no going back. Black people have had to negotiate for our rights and freedoms and privileges.
Right.
And we've had to do it all sorts of ways, whether it's like, what if I sing some Negro spirituals? What if I stand up and speak truth to power? So black people as a whole are always trying to figure out ways to get the attention of the greater white power structure to say, can we have our rights and freedoms? So I understand that people are annoyed with defund the police or afraid of it, but let's remember, Martin Luther King Jr. was talking about hugs, basically. He was talking about, like, can we all just get along? And he was assassinated. So I think black people are often in a position of, like, how do we get your attention? Now, famously, Ice Cube said, the police. So I feel like defund is a little bit less harsh than that.
Right.
And it's true. I think people get put off by it, so then it becomes my job as the guy with the TV show to say, let's go through it and talk about it, because you're not going to Google it yourself. So let me do it. Let me Google it for you.
You have a chart.
Yeah.
Maybe you could walk us through the chart.
Wow, I've never had a high budget.
Oh, and I forgot. This is, by the way, this is your eye test also.
Yeah, exactly. So
I love that I just learned you had eye surgery, and you.
Yes. And I am not seeing very well.
You just see a white blob with some orange stuff at the top. I could be Trump for all you know.
I mean, that's so small. They defunded the graphics budget, didn't they?
Yes, we did. This is where we are right now.
They were like, we'll make a chart. I was like, great. Oh, okay.
This is called defund the show.
Exactly what I hear.
But you know,
so basically, if you look in the middle of the chart, you're saying that's the police as we currently know them, and the police in many towns get like anywhere from like 20% to like 50% of the city's money.
Right.
Now, in Oakland, where I'm from, they get around 50%, but only 4 to 5% of the police are for violent crimes.
Right. Right.
And then everything else becomes about like things that the police is under their umbrella to do, but they're not actually that good at. Like, for example, there's a guy in the street who's yelling and seems to be having a mental health episode. Can you come help that? Can you come help with that? Generally, and we've seen that happen over and over again, the police come, that person often ends up dead. And what defund the police is saying, there should be another number to call, or when you call 911, you should be, and you say there's a guy in the middle of the street who's having a mental health episode, then they link you to a social worker or somebody else who shows up to help that guy. Like, for example, Rashard Brooks in Atlanta was asleep in his car. Somebody called 911, the police showed up, he ended up dead. That should be 911, can you send an Uber to come pick this guy up and take him home? And so what defund the police is saying, there are better ways to handle public safety than always calling somebody with a gun.
This is also something that the police would probably be interested in, which is they don't want to be sent into these situations, and it's using the wrong tool for the wrong task. There needs to be a more nuanced, full tool chest where you can say, okay, this is someone who has experience, who's not as immediately threatening to someone who's having an episode.
And knows how to, and is actually their whole job is about de-escalation and connecting with people, not squelching a threat, not looking at everything as a threat. I think we think of police being like those old Batman cartoons where Batman's utility belt had everything on it.
Right.
Well, really, police don't have that much on that utility belt. They have guns, they have taser, maybe they have a stick, I don't know, but they don't, it's all about how to squelch a threat and not about how to help somebody. When really we need somebody who shows up with a sandwich on their belt, you know, with somebody who can show up with like I said, I'll give you a ride home, not like somebody who's looking at every individual act as a potential threat.
Right. Although I think the sandwich thing, I would probably be creating a fuss every day if I knew this, that they were going to send someone with a sandwich. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'd be in the middle of the street going, oh,
yeah.
And then I'd be like, well, you got turkey? No, not turkey. No, corned beef? I'll take the corned beef. Does that Russian dressing? No?
Call the pastrami cops. Call the pastrami cops. Yes. Well, but wouldn't that be a great world if that was the problem?
I love that idea.
Conan O'Brien is calling the pastrami cops too often. We have to figure out the city's pastrami budget is going through the roof. We have to figure out, we have to defund the pastrami cops. Yeah. That's a world I want to live in.
You know what? I love having you on the show. I love talking to you because you're that great combination of funny, but also I always learn things from you, and I always feel better off and I feel a little more hopeful after we have our conversations. So, and that's a nice feeling.
That is
a really
nice
nice feeling.
And as always, as I always say, we're doomed.
You know what? Always end on your A material.
Yes, exactly.
You heard it here. We're doomed. New episodes of United Shades of America with W. Kamau Bell air every Sunday at 10 o'clock p.m. on CNN, and it's a spectacular show, and you got to check it out if you're not W. Kamau Bell. Thank you, sir. I bow to you. I do this to you.
Here you go.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
getting a hug again someday.
And also, this is from the ACLU.
Oh, cool. Well, you don't throw it.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Nice. Sticky.
Yeah.
Oh. I was going to put that in my hair for a second. Look.